Hey guys, welcome to Lunatic Astrology. I'm going to talk about miracles, mayhem, and the full moon on Monday, June the 17th at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Check your own time zone to be exact. It is at 25 degrees Sag, and it is a moon that's going to bring the capacity for you to up-level your life well past the Muggle zone into the serious land of magic and enchantment and miracles. And at the same time, in your own life and in my life and the life of the world, this will also be a moon that is inviting in mayhem, calamity, and chaos. Now, when I go to the chaos and calamity section after the good stuff, the miracles, I want you to remember that all upset is a setup. So in the big cosmic grand design, the divine plan, it all has a greater purpose than to really just make us feel anxious or discombobulated. So we'll get to that in a sec. So the first thing I want to talk about is the miracle uplink. So Neptune is a major player in this moon. The reason that Neptune is such a strong player, Neptune, the planet of enlightenment, the miraculous, unconditional love, oceanic consciousness, transpersonal stuff. I would say that synchronicity is a mechanism or a connection to Neptune as well. The reason that Neptune is such a strong player is that the moon is currently gazing over at Neptune while holding hands with Jupiter. Now let's talk about what that means. This full moon on Monday at 25 Sag in the galactic center, I kind of always joke that the galactic center should be like, hello, source, God, divine, intelligence, are you there? Yeah, great. I got a static-free line to the galactic center. So 25 degrees Sag is the galactic center, and that's where this moon is positioned, right? I mean, within the orb of influence of the galactic center, which is in, 24, 25 degrees of Sag. So this means this moon has a great hookup to the divine. That's part of the magic. It's holding little arm's length, a wide orb of conjunction beside each other, Jupiter's hand. Jupiter in Jupiter in Sag in its own home sign is super powerful, even while going retrograde, which I'll explain what that means in a minute for what you can do with this particular moon. But they're holding hands. Jupiter's backing away a little bit, going retrograde, going backwards, but still holding hands with the moon as they look over at Neptune, and Neptune in Pisces. In traditional astrology, the ruler of Pisces is as well Jupiter, so it's Jupiter's home sign that he's looking at with the moon in his hand in hand or arm in arm. It is a considered modern day astrology. It thinks that perhaps the ruler of Pisces is Neptune. So either way, it's just all very strong placements for these two planets. And what I want to say about that is think of it as an uplink from the galactic center to the moon with the support of Jupiter. Jupiter, blessings, luck, opportunity, growth, expansion, great beneficent, Zeus, Mountain Zeus, top dog God. So looking at, together they're looking at Neptune. So they're having a relationship or conversation with Neptune. It's called a square, 90 degrees angle. But even though square is a tension aspect, in this case with such a strong energy of Jupiter being, in its home sign, this is going to provide an opportunity for some blessings. So look at the way that you can up-level your life to more magic, synchronicity, and miracles during the moon on the 17th and the 2 weeks that follow. You're going to be given chances to do that. You don't have to look for them. You're just going to be kind of finding things get a lot more surreal, all right, during that time. If you have a habit, an addiction to a substance, which Neptune is about when it's in its sort of shadow form, because we use Neptune like spirits and stuff or mood elevating substances to connect to that transcendent, divine, and magical aspect of ourselves. But often we misuse the same thing. Like a little bit of wine's great, a lot of wine isn't so great. So if you have an addiction or a really bad habit with a substance, even if it's just too much Netflix binging, escapism, or whatever, this is a good moon on Monday, the 17th, and maybe another day in your place in the world, the 16th, to begin to unhook, to let the forces of this Neptune energy help you find a way that is simple and easy and filled with grace to disconnect from the abusive habitual and to connect up to the divine within yourself. So that's the miracle part of it. It's going to be really sweet. I'm expecting, and get some downloads too. You know, J.K. Rowling has Neptune in her 10th house. You know, of course, that's really great because that's her career house. And Neptune is the planet of the magic. And she wrote about magic. And she downloaded the whole book on a train ride. That's another thing Neptune can give you is inspiration, heightened imagination. So let your imagination run wild. Let inspiration come to you. See what happens. See what inspiration shows up on this moon too. Now the mayhem. Oh my God, the mayhem. So where do we start? Well, first of all, the moon is on a fixed star called the Sath. It's a star associated with the planet Mars, which is war and combative and all of that. It is the Scorpion's stinger, the end of the tail where this fixed star is located. This is happening, this moon, just as we have experienced the news that there was a Persian Gulf, 2 tankers in the Persian Gulf that had explosions on them, and the United States is pointing the finger, probably wrongly, but it's convenient at Iran, and nobody was really hurt. These were actually not meant to destroy these tankers. This was like pot shots or an irritant, like BB gun type explosions. I mean, they were big, but I mean, whoever lobbed the explosions or set the devices, whichever way it went, wasn't intending to actually kill people, but get attention. Who does it serve? Who knows? But here's the thing. The fixed star, I'm bringing up the global, I'm going to talk about your personal mayhem too. The fixed star Altair in the constellation of the Eagle, okay, is the same name, Altair, as one of the tankers that was hit, the Norwegian tanker. It's funny how Donald Trump is always talking about Norway this and Norway that, and then suddenly it's a Norwegian tanker that gets hit with an explosive device. So named Altair, front Altair. So think about that for a second. What are the odds, right? A fixed star in the constellation of the Eagle. This fixed star is at 2 degrees Aquarius, so everyone get your charts out and see what's going on, and we'll make a narrative from this. It seems to me that this is a simulation, that we're living in like a matrix or like Inception, nested realities, because the odds of that are just so weird. Okay, so the fixed star Altair is also associated with Mars. I believe also with Jupiter, but Mars, yet another war energy. So I have a feeling that part of the mayhem that we're going to experience as the next 2 weeks unfold is going to likely be some kind of declaration of, I hate to say this, war or a warning of war or something like that, instigated by the United States, aiming its target at Iran. Donald Trump probably needs a diversion, let's face it, for all the heat he's getting. Another bit of political mayhem may be Donald Trump Jr. testifying in Senate Intelligence closed-door sessions this week. Whatever he says, that day he went in to talk, maybe he's going to disclose something that's harmful to Donald Trump. Why? Senior. Why? Because he has an alignment in his chart that sets him up to castrate his father when I looked at both their charts together. And we're talking mythic architecture here. We're talking about, like, you know, Zeus and Uranus and archetypes of the zodiac. And so that's why I use the harsh word castrate. Now listen, it's because that's a part of the mythic story of Uranus and stuff and Zeus, so, and Saturn. So here's the thing. It's possible that Donald Jr. will say something that harms his dad, inadvertently or passive-aggressively, I don't know. And that will come out into the public domain over the next 2 weeks as well. And that could also increase not just the general mayhem, but also the pressure on Donald Trump, the president, to do something to get the heat off and to divert people's attention away from him and his woes and troubles. Okay, so that's the political mayhem and the potential instigation of conflict in the Persian Gulf. The second thing, and I don't think it would be outright war in the next 2 weeks, it might be more like something like Donald Trump sends a fleet to the Gulf, you know, in position to police the you know, Iranians there, you know, but that's just a step towards something. In your own life, what do you, oh, one more thing I should say. Mars is trining Neptune, right, as well right now. And that's actually very positive if you want to get a spiritual warrior energy going in your life, because I have Mars trine Neptune in my own natal chart, and that's concurrent with this moon on Monday. But it's interesting because Mars likes to cut, sever, and end things cleanly, like incisively, like an incision. And and Neptune's very foggy and very often confused and puts rose-colored glasses on and gets kind of like nostalgic or sentimental or overly idealistic. So there's a bit of a tension, and even in a trine there with the two planets. So I'd ask you to consider in what ways can you up-level to your spiritual warriorship, but on the other hand, where in your life, and this goes into the mayhem, may you have invited in something unsustainable, like a job, a relationship, a boss, a friend, a lover, a partner, you know, that you just realize that finally the rose-colored glasses are falling away. Finally, the hopeful idealism or the confusion and uncertainty is falling away. Will you let Mars, you know, cut something for you? Will you be willing to let it end or end it yourself? That's what this can happen on this. This is what could be available for you. Nothing happens to you on the full moon on Monday. And you know, it's interesting because whatever happens on Monday and the next 2 weeks after has been building since the new moon on the 3rd of this month of June. So maybe you've been pondering letting something, someone, or some situation go, and you've really been on the fence about it, but on Monday, including those addictions you should get let go of, that Mars will let you sever it, and they give you the courage to sever it and let things fall away. All right, so that's another aspect of both miracles and mayhem, because sometimes it's a miracle when we can let some junk go in our lives. So the last thing I want to say is I have a sale going on right now. It just started. Breakthrough to miracles. Yeah, I really like the miracle angle, but my life is full of them. I've had spontaneous miracle healings. My life is just one big synchronicity jamboree, and I love to bring that awareness of what's possible and how unmuggle our lives really are to all of my clients. And so the Breakthrough to Miracles reading is about the eclipses. I call it the eclipse wormhole. You can call it a tunnel, you can call it a birth canal, but it started January 5th and it ends mid next summer. And so we're in an 18-month window of these eclipses on the axis of, the Capricorn Cancer axis, which is an intense axis right now, right? We've got Pluto conjunct Saturn in the south node on Capricorn side, and, you know, no, did I get that right? Yeah. And all the tension that's bubbling up there in the Capricornian sign of, you know, like literally, I mean, Capricorn, like structure, it wants things the way they are, and its status quo is like the god of Capricorn. And here we've got Pluto, death and rebirth, you know, like just really bearing down on that, you know, Capricorn solidity and asking for something to change. And the south node is what needs to change, right? It's what we need to let go of. And that north node in Cancer, which cares about the world and cares about the earth. Right now, that Mars is in opposition to that Saturn, and so that's really another tension aspect that really, you know, often leads to something really catalytic and crisis oriented. So where in your life are these eclipses going to take you in terms of crisis and or creative breakthrough in some area of your life over the next few months? July the 2nd and July the 16th are the two eclipses this summer, solar and then lunar. And they're going to actually be navigating you towards something greater and something more magical in your life, and hopefully miraculous because of that Neptune influence ongoing in Pisces. So I would love to help you see where the magical and miraculous can happen. This is not a reading that applies to just the month of July. This is a reading that will take me into looking at your reality in your life that begins in January of this year on the 5th with the first eclipse and ends mid next summer. So I want to investigate that span of 18 months in the context of where it's taking you in the longer term picture. And that longer term picture, I'll try to help look much further ahead than just a year and a half, but into the next decade. Second of all, I have a sale, not a sale, contest. Spangly jewelry, earrings. I'm wearing earrings again, but not hers. My friend Desiree, Spangly Jewelry, created these moon-bathed crystal earrings. They're gorgeous. Go to the link below, click it. You'll see a picture of the earrings. I have 27 people only in the contest so far. Get your name in a hat, guys. It's a good chance of winning. I will ship these earrings anywhere in the world. And the draw is on Monday. So go down below, click on that, get your name into the reading hat. I will draw here Monday live, or not, if not live, just I'll post the results here. The winner will get a notice by email. and the earrings shipped to you, and they're beautiful. So take a look at that. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications, and please comment. I read my comments. I will heart them to let you know I've read it, and I will comment back when I feel there's something I would love to say back to what you said to me. If you're an astrologer, I would love to hear back from you as well. What are your thoughts about the mayhem right now, especially with that Altair tanker that's just a little foreboding? And the other tanker was Courageous Kokura, Japanese tanker, I believe. And courageous is Mars's word as well. Is it really a coincidence that the Japanese leader Shinzo Abe is now in dialogue in Iran to rebroker some kind of nuclear treaty, the one that Trump blew up, while this is ongoing? So the big Russian question, like the Russians always say, who stands to benefit by these blow-ups of the two tankers in the Gulf? Who stands to benefit? I wonder. I will do another whole video here in my political astrology series, which I'm going to start because I really love current events and politics and astrology, and I want to look exactly at the charts of the tanker event. The report was 6 a.m. local time, 6 something a.m. when the distress call came from the Altair. So we'll see. All right, thanks for listening, guys. Stay tuned for more giveaways on my channel, and I'm so glad that you're listening to me this long. Mwah.